we talk about the amount of insurance that we have. We talk about choosing the right contractor. But as a homeowner, you see this type of storm come through and you suspect there's probably damage, right? But what about the damage to the untrained eye? I mean, there's obvious damage.
Yeah.
You know, you walk out and you're like, wow, my car's all dinged up. Wow, the siding is completely destroyed, but maybe it's not always that evident on my roof, but it's there. How do you recognize storm damage when it's not easily recognizable? What do you do?
A lot of what we do is we have the guys go up there physically and inspect the roof. So we're getting on the roof. What we're doing is we're feeling the shingle. We're feeling the shingle for a break in the shingle. So the shingle is made of fiberglass. So it's got a fiberglass backing in the shingle. A lot of times when hail comes down, it breaks that fiberglass mat in that shingle. So a lot of times you got to actually feel that spot to see it's actually been broken. A lot of times, you know, when hail is fresh, it'll be kind of darker. It'll be like some darker black circles. But that's not always the case with a lot of shingles. Some of the shingles, it won't lose the granulars right away. So that's why sometimes you got to wait a little bit, 6 months to a year, a little bit of that freeze and thaw process to go through, a little bit more moisture. Those granulars fall out of there, you start to see that hail damage show up over time. But you really have to get the trained eye on there is the big thing. Someone that's, you know, has been trained in spotting hail damage, can feel it, touch the shingle, things like that.
Yeah, just because there's damage to your shingle doesn't mean it's hail damage. You know, there's other damage. There could have been damage when it was installed. So there's certain things, you know, your insurance company or the adjuster that the insurance company sends is looking for, and that's what we're trained to point out.
You have, you know, an adjuster come out. We're going to meet the actual adjuster at the home, and we're going to point out things, you know, that maybe the adjuster won't see.
Yeah. You normally we let the adjuster do their thing. It's not really our job.
We don't sit over their shoulder and hover and
No, I mean
drive them nuts.
that's their job. They're good at it. Now, if they miss some things that we've seen, yeah, we'll point it out. You know, for the homeowner. You know, we're there to help the homeowner out. But you know, more often than not, they're fine.
So we're definitely an advocate. We work with the insurance company, we work with the adjuster, we work with you. We're an advocate for everyone.
A lot of people try to argue with the adjusters or change the adjusters' minds.
That doesn't go over well.
Doesn't happen. I can tell you, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, these people are very experienced. They know exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, what we'll see, especially in the Colorado market, which is the #1 hail capital in the world. We get more hail in Colorado than any place in the world. So we get a lot of people that are insurance restoration contractors, and a lot of them will use the technique of being kind of like the expert, being pushy with the adjuster, saying that they're the expert because they've been doing this for however long. But what we've learned is his work best is basically just being an advocate for the homeowner and working with the adjuster. So a lot of times, you know, we'll either go side by side or a whole scope and compare notes and say, here's what we found at the time of the inspection with the homeowner. And then he compares as far as whatever he saw, just so we're on the same page. So by the time that we leave that appointment, we should have a full scope that we're in agreement on as far as the damages.
That's a lot. I mean, I'm blown away right now. Let's get into, could you feel it? Could you feel it? I'm just really blown away. That's my bad. Thank you. Okay, so you say, you know, you can't always tell that there's damage, and there's a waiting period, 6 months, 12 months. Don't you only have about a year to claim damage?
More often than not, it's 2. You should check the policy, but it's usually 2 years.
Usually 2 years, but you should definitely check your policy.
And that's where it's a little different in Colorado. Most claims are only a year. So a lot of times in Colorado, a lot of the policies will state it's only a year. So you really got to read your policy again to see if you have that 2-year time frame. So we have a lot less time. I think it's different state by state. A lot of the policies are written differently. So you want to just make sure that you know in your policy as far as what type of time frame that you have.
One of the unique things that he has in Colorado, which is, we don't have it here in Minneapolis. What happens if he had a hailstorm today and roofs got damaged, nobody would replace the roof until the fall because they don't want to replace the roof and have another hailstorm come.
There's been multiple times where we put a roof on and then the next day it actually got destroyed again by hail. And that's actually happened 3 times.
Oh, wow.
3 times to where we installed the roof and the next day a hailstorm comes through, destroys the roof, and they have to, you know, make a claim all over again and go through it
All
again.
the customers out in Colorado are smart,
It's like
so they don't do
Yep.
it.
Joe Dirt, you win twice, man. It's good biz.
Yep.